Hello friend, welcome back. In a previous video, I have created some of the validations. So here I have created one of the property as the email error and the password error. That is our validation. So when our validation will be as a true, then it should be returned to our form. That means our submit form that I have created one of the method in our on submit area, right? So into the on submit area, I have created this method, and into this method area, I just simply pass our this validate, and into the validate when everything will be true, then it should be show some of the alert as a from our submit done, right? So now I want to put some of the validation. That means I want to show some of the validation. So if you want to visible it, so I want to visible that things with our this email error and the password error property. Okay, so now first of all I want to actually access our this states and then our this email error. So here that means in our on charts, and then the event, and here that is our strong. I just simply added some of the static data, that means static value as the email or password is invalid. So everything actually will be comes from our this validation area. So right now I want to actually pass that our property. So here in particular that position, so here I want to pass our this property, so it should be as a this, right? With this I want to access our states. So that is our states, and into the states area I have created two of this. One is the email error, right? I hope you can already understand about it, friend. Because of all that is our states. So into the states, if you want to access it, you have to access it with the this and our states and then our property name as email error. So now I just simply pass that email error. Okay, so now we also do the same things. I want to do the same things for our password. That means here, so it should be as our password. That means this is actually the password error. So now I want to show that with these states, and then that is actually our password error. So now we have to work in our validation. That means that is actually our validations, right? So into the validation area, so here into the states, I have already added our property as email and the password, and also into the input, you can say I just name it as email, and then our another field input field name as a password. So now I want to add that validations. That means when our two of this field will be empty, that means our email field will be as empty, and then our password field will be as empty, then it will be show some of the error. Okay, so first of all in our if condition, and that means into the if condition area, I want to add our when our not, okay, not this and these states, and with this is states, that means with this we have to access our states and the email field, that means the email property actually. So I want to access it. So when it should be as a greater than 0, okay, that means when it should be as a greater than 0, that means when it should be as a empty, and also there is another one, right? So and another one just like that same. And when our this, if you want to access that our states, when our also not these states, with these states I want to access our another property as a password. So that is actually our password. So when our not this states is a greater than is equal to 0, and then also the password will be as a greater than 0, that means a not 0 actually, not 0, then it should be show some of the message. That means if you want to show some of the message, so here you have to add that set states, right? As I told you, when you pass some of the value to the states, then you have to use another one of the React JS building method as a set state. So now we can actually use it. So if you want to access that set states, first of all you have to add that with this and then set. With the set states, I want to pass it or pass that our this property. So that means in our email error properties area I want to pass it. So here I want to pass some of the message as a when our two of this field will be empty, our email and password required. Okay, so this type of one of the message will display. And also I already added our this property as email error property. You can see I have already added our email error property in particular that area. Okay, and also there is another one as a password error. So now when our two of this field, that means email field will be as a 0, and then our password field will be as a 0, that means empty, then it should be show some of the error message in our this property area. and then it will be show as email and the password required, right friend? And here I have added that set states because of all here I want to pass some of the value to our states. That means into the states you can see that is actually our email error, right? So here I pass some of the data. So for the reasons here I have used one of the building method as a set states method. I hope everything is very much clear to you. So now I want to put another condition. That means when our email field will be as a empty, what exactly it should be display. So it's pretty much same things. Okay, that means the same condition, but I just simply copy it into the if. That means the and if. So here I just put that condition. When our this states email will be greater than 0, okay, when it should be greater than 0, then it should be show some of the message. That means the same things as a this, and then set states, and into the set states area it should be show our email error. That means the email error message. That means this property, and also here I located on our this position, right? And after that email field here it should be display as email error. So now I just simply added our email error, and now it should be show whatever you want. So right now I want to display as email required. Okay, email required. So this type of one of the message it should be display. And also there is another one as a password field. That means when our password field will be empty, better I want to add another and if. Okay, after that, so after that I added another else if, else, and then if. So into the else if condition, so here I just simply added it, and then our else. That means here it should be added that else. Okay, our else will be on here. So when our another field as a password actually, so same things. When this states our password, that means this password, when it should be as a greater than 0, not, okay, and then it should be show some of the another message. So it should be show another message with the this states, and then it should be show this message in our which position, that means the password error. So I just simply that pass that our password error property, it should be show our password, okay, password required, and else it should be as a return true. That means when it should be as a return true, it should be redirected to our this position with this validation, and that is our alert will be visible. I hope it's very much clear to you friend what exactly the things I did on here. And also for display that password error, I have already added that part. That means when our password into the password area, I already added our color red, and that is our states, and then our property, right? That is our password error, and that is our email error. So now let's check this out. That's all you have to actually do. Like if you click as a save all, and now if you refresh it, so right now I want to make that both of these as a empty. Okay, that means here I didn't add an email and the password, click as a submit. Yes, you can see friend, now it's perfectly display without loading that page. Because of all here I have already added, that means our prevent default, that means for the reason this page is not loaded. So now you can see it's now perfectly visible, our email and password is required. Okay, that means here you can see here I just put that condition. When our email and the password will be as empty, it should be display our one of the message, there's the email and password is required, and I pass that things in our email error property. That means here, and also I display it after that email, right? So after that our email input field, then it should be display. Like you can see it's now perfectly display on particular that area. And also I put that condition when you put your email address and password field is empty, click as a submit. Yes, you can see it's now showing as a password required. Okay, and also if you refresh it, make that pass email field as a empty, and I just put some of the password, click as a submit. Yes, you can see it's now showing as email is required. So that is actually the main condition. So that is actually our main condition. So when our else if email field will be empty, it should be displayed as email required, and when our password field will be empty, then it should be displayed as a password required. Rather than when everything will be true, then it should be redirected to some of the alert message. Now let's check this out. So here I put some of the email address, put some of the password, click as a submit. Yes, you can see now it's actually perfectly visible our alert message as a form submitted done. That means that is actually our message. There is a form submitted done. So friend, now I think you have little idea about that form submission. So don't worry that everything is very much basic things. So just capture that all that basic fundamentals. So it will be very much helpful when we will work in deep in React.js. So I'm trying to explain you as much as easy for you. I hope you enjoyed very much. So in our next video, I want to show you how can add some of the text area. Okay, how can add some of the text area, and also after that how can add some of the select options. So step by step I will cover everything with you. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.